Hey everyone, Jason here. If you were to Google the king of knots, you'll find a ton of articles, photos, animation, and videos telling you how the bowline, seen here, is often considered the king of knots. If you do a search for why the bowline is considered the king, you'll discover that it's simply because of its importance. And it's true, the bowline is an important knot. There are, however, other equally important knots, and possibly even a knot or two that are more important. In this video, I'm going to argue that the bowline is in fact not the king of knots, and that the title really belongs to a much easier and more common knot. The overhand knot. The overhand knot is a simple stopper knot. Its main purpose is to back up a rope so the rope doesn't slip through another knot, a hole, or a device like a pulley or a belay device for climbing. This simple knot, which is probably always the first one we learn, is the foundation within many more knots with different uses. In this video, I'm going to show you 14 of the most popular variations of the overhand knot. The overhand loop is a fixed loop that's tied on a bight. The overhand bend is a way to tie or join two ropes together using an overhand knot. A slip knot is a variation of the overhand knot, except that a bight is used when tying the knot to make it easier to untie. A half hitch is an overhand knot tied around an anchor point such as a ring, a post, or in this case a rail. The half hitch isn't a very secure hitch knot, but you can back it up with another overhand knot. And this is a good example of what a stopper knot is and how it can be used. You can see that with the stopper knot tied to the tail end, it's much less likely that the rope will slip through. But if you want a half hitch that's super easy to untie, there's always the slippery half hitch. Number 7 is the round turn and 2 half hitches. And by the way, I know I'm going through these kind of fast, so I'm putting a link in the description to the videos I've made on each of these knots in case you want to spend some time learning each of them. It's kind of difficult to see the overhand knot in the round turn and 2 half hitches, so if I tie it without the anchor point, you might be able to see it better. Now, if I just undo the second half hitch and uncoil the wraps, there's your overhand knot. The square knot, or reef knot as it's also called, is another that's a little difficult to see the overhand. Let's tie it with only one rope so you can see the entire structure. Oh, there's our overhand knot. And there's another. And if the square knot is made from overhand knots, then the slip square knot is too. And every time we tie our shoes, another overhand knot with the double slip square knot. The square knot and the variations of the square knot are other examples of bend knots. Of course, there are better ways to tie two ropes together using the overhand knot, like this water knot. Or this fisherman's knot. And we also have the hunter's knot. By the way, if you want to see other ways to tie two ropes together, I have a video called 24 Great Bend Knots. I'll put a link in the description and also at the end of this video. Watch the blue rope as I tie the last example with this Zeppelin Bend. There's your overhand knot, and also tied with the purple rope. So there you have it, the overhand knot. What do you think? Is it the real king of knots? Now, as promised, here's a link to 24 Great Bend Knots. I hope you check it out, and thanks for watching.